All right. Good evening, Commissioners, and over to you, Chair Harrington.
Well, good morning, good evening, hello everyone. Whatever time of day it is, on this day, February 27th, 2024, this is the Washington County Board of Commissioners meeting. Clerk Moss, could you do us the honors?
Certainly, Madam Chair. The Washington County Board of Commissioners is also meeting as the Board of Directors for Clean Water Services and all other county service districts. Meeting this regular session, February 27th, 2024. Commissioner Rogers? Here. Commissioner Treese?
Here.
Commissioner Willie?
Here.
Vice Chair Fye?
Present.
Chair Harrington?
Here. Commissioner Fye might want to turn her camera on, though. Ta-da, there you go. All righty, first item on our agenda is, or next item is public communication. Clerk Moss, do we have anyone who wishes to speak to the board about any particular subject not on the agenda for up to 2 minutes apiece?
I did not see anyone in the auditorium. Anyone in the auditorium who wishes to testify, please come forward, raise their hand. Attention, not seeing any in the room. Would any member online via Zoom wish to provide public comment on any county-related topic for up to 2 minutes? Give you just a moment to utilize raise hand function. Not seeing any hands, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Clerk Moss. Next, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of 4 items, 1 set of minutes, and 3 items from land use and transportation. What are the wishes of the commission?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt tonight's consent agenda. All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye. Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. Next, we have presentations, and I would like to invite Amanda Garcia Snell up to share with us the latest quarterly report from our Office of Equity, Inclusion, and Community Engagement, also known as OEICE, a quarterly report, and I want to thank you for doing so. We asked, as part of our adopting the equity resolution in 2020, we wanted to ensure that throughout the organization, all employees as well as community-wide had the opportunity to see our commitment to operationalize equity. And so one way to do so is to have you come and provide a quarterly update for us to see how we're doing on that journey. So thank you, Amanda. Please take it away.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. As the Chair mentioned, I'm Amanda Garcia Snell. I'm the Community Engagement Manager in the Office of Equity, Inclusion, and Community Engagement. It's my pleasure to share our quarterly update. Dora Perry, our Interim Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer, and Fatih Karshi, our new Civil Rights Officer, are not able to join me this evening due to illness and medical reasons. So you have me this evening for the 12th quarterly update. The primary focus will be on staffing transitions and our new civil rights capacity that we are helping to build within the county. Okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry. Okay. So as you know, we're in the midst of recruitment. Oh, and let me apologize in advance. These slides are slightly different than what is in the packet. We're in the midst of a recruitment for a new Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer that we call CEIO. The county is working with Wall and Associates on this effort, and this slide just gives a glimpse of where we are in the process. The position was announced earlier this month and will close next month. I am very happy to report that so far Wall has received 243 applications for this position. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So they continue to work through the initial pre-screening of those applicants. And if you've seen earlier versions of this slide, you may notice that the timeline has been extended a touch. This is mainly due to just being mindful of those weeks that spring break is observed across the country. We're getting applicants from across the country, and so Oregon typically has one spring break, but other states have different spring breaks. So we're not wanting to create any extended delays in the midst of the interview rounds, and so with that in mind, we're hoping to be on track to identify finalists later this spring. So not only is this position important to the organization, but it is also important to, okay, what am I doing? There we go. the team, which you can see here includes 19 and a half full-time positions. This org chart gives you a glimpse of those positions and their funding sources. Currently, we have 16 and a half positions filled by 17 people. OEICE is really divided into 3 teams. So community engagement, my team, the equity team, and then our newest team, the civil rights team, which I'll touch on in a minute. The colors denote how positions are funded. So the blue and orange are shared positions. Orange is shared with housing. Blue is shared with land use and transportation. The red positions are the ARPA-funded limited duration positions, and then those positions in green are general fund, which includes some lottery dollars as well. Let's see. And then I think you're aware, but just in case, the shared positions are really, those positions are people who are part of the OEICE team, and so they have the opportunity to have kind of a deeper bench with peers, with equity and equitable community engagement expertise, but they work specifically in those departments. We've had several new staff join us in the last few months. In addition to the few folks that I'll mention in the next few slides, I also want to mention that Jonathan Oster has joined us as a civil rights trainer, and he has been hitting the ground running doing that work, so you may have encountered him in trainings in the county. And then Ika Falstrom has joined us from Health and Human Services as a community engagement program coordinator, and she's supporting CCI, CPOs, and appointed boards and commissions, as well as other equitable community engagement work. So this is Fatih Karshi. He's our new civil rights officer. He and program manager. He isn't able to be here this evening, as I mentioned, but and he will have a time to share more with you all about the work that he will be doing in his role at a later date. In the meantime, I just wanted you to be aware that he joined the county in late January. He comes to us from neighboring Washington State, and he's leading the team that includes civil rights trainer as well as language access coordination. He has also hit the ground running to look at and to work towards all things related to civil rights. Let's see. Specifically, he is tasked with these things, these elements of civil rights work, which are extensive, and as you can see, is a fairly heavy lift. And so he will be focusing on these priorities. There we go. So he's begun to work on these priorities, developing and strengthening our processes and updating existing plans, as well as developing a timeline for more in-depth and future civil rights related work. So I'm also pleased to share that housing has added 2 additional shared positions. We had one existing shared community engagement program coordinator position and a vacancy in that position. So now we have 3 new shared housing staff joining us. Bianeth Valdez comes to us from the city of Beaverton and supports community engagement practices and policies for the Department of Housing Services. Her work's primarily related to rent assistance and affordable housing. And then in the Homeless Services Division, 2 new staff. Nadia Mohammed also joins us from the city of Beaverton, and she is on the Strategic Initiatives and Relations team in Homeless Services Divisions. She coordinates the rollout of the newly formed Homeless Solutions Advisory Council, and the launch of the Solutions Council subcommittees. She also supports the Housing and Supportive Services Network and other strategic partnerships and initiatives focused on homeless services in Washington County. And then Valentina Barrett also comes to us from Health and Human Services and focuses on shelter and Pod Village community engagement processes. She is also part of that strategic initiatives and relations team in the Homeless Services Division, and she focuses on event planning, coordination, and community relations for the newly launched locations, shelters. And with that, I will pass it back to you for questions.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia-Snell. Commissioners, do you have any questions on this latest quarterly update?
Yeah, I just, well, it always intrigues me, Amanda, that, okay, so it's slide number 3. It's the one that where you have all your staffing on there. And I just remember when we passed this resolution that we knew that we were going to need to be consolidating because we kind of were fragmented with people that were doing this, especially getting data information from different departments. So I'm glad to see that this is a very good depiction of how we have kind of pulled all of that together. We do some shared responsibilities. We got some half-time positions. And I think that's really good. So this was my favorite slide of it, even though it was nice to be introduced to the other new team members. But yeah, thanks for doing this, and you're doing a great job.
Sure, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Amanda. Really appreciate it. Good to know. All righty. Next on our agenda is, if I would turn my page for my note-taking, is our second public comment period of this evening. This is an opportunity for members of our community to come and share their thoughts with us for up to 5 minutes. An individual. Clerk Moss, do we have anyone tonight?
I did not see anyone come into the auditorium since we started the meeting, but if there's anyone in the auditorium that wishes to comment for up to 5 minutes on any county-related topic, just get my attention, raise your hand. Not seeing anyone. Would any members online via Zoom wish to provide comment for up to 5 minutes on any county-related topic? Give you just a moment to utilize the raised hands. Not seeing any hands, Chair Harrington.
Thank you, Clerk Moss. I appreciate it. Next, we'll move on to board announcements. And with that, we have one unusual one. We have a draft letter that we didn't have the opportunity to discuss during our board work session today. So it's with regard to a request to the Bureau of Land Management, also known as BLM, a request from us for cooperating agency status. So we have a draft letter, and I'm just looking for board direction that you're willing. Thumbs up? Okay, great. We'll get that sent off. Thank you very much. The other board announcements from me are our upcoming meetings. This Friday, we start the month of March. Happy leap year, everyone. Enjoy the extra day. Tuesday, March 5th, we will have a work session starting at 9. We thought we might have a Housing Board of Directors meeting, but we don't have anything on the agenda, so our board meeting will start promptly at 10 a.m. On Thursday of next week, the 7th, we're having our monthly board roundtable. It will be held only in the morning, starting at 9 a.m. The following week, Tuesday, March 12th, will be just a work session day, all day, starting at 9. Then on the third Tuesday of the month, March 19th, that will be our last set of meetings for the month, which means we'll have a work session starting at 2 a.m. and a board meeting in the evening, just like tonight, 6:30. The following week is spring break week for many school districts here in Washington County, so we're going to help ensure that our workforce has that time off to spend with family, so we will not be having board meetings on Tuesday, March 26th, and I'm not ready for the month of April, though I will say I saw my first flowering trees today on my drive into the office. That's it for me for board announcements. Anyone else? Well, seeing none, next we have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
So move.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion is unanimous, 5-0. We are hereby adjourned. Thank you.